This news update is brought to you by
our valued partners for the BT Cropover Superstar Competition: Flow, Banks, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Izumi Media, and Liberty Store.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, July 15th. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Labour Minister Dr Esther Byer is criticizing the National Union of Public Workers for its decision to announce a resolution had been reached in its dispute with the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation yesterday. The main contention was the dismissal letters issued to 10 employees over age 60. After a week of protests by the union, the BIDC agreed to withdraw the letters on Tuesday following a meeting of the Social Partnership Subcommittee. But in a statement today, Dr Byer said the NUPW's announcement was premature, as all parties had agreed to make no statements to the media on the agreement until after they met today. Byer's statement also says there are some inconsistencies between the offer made by the BIDC and the offer that the NUPW is reportedly accepting. Meanwhile, political scientist Peter Wickham says Barbados has emerged the winner at the end of the NUPW-BIDC dispute. He tells Barbados Today the island could ill afford major unrest given the fragile economic environment. And he lauded the efforts of the social partnership, which helped to broker a solution. But Wickham adds the focus should not be on winners or losers. He says there are bigger issues at stake, and the outcome was in fact best for the Freundel-Stewart administration.
When I read the statement of the minister, I get the impression that she is perhaps a bit upset about the fact that the union appears to be doing a victory lap, saying that they have won. But I think in all of this, the larger issue is really the very tenuous nature of government situation right now, and I think that this outcome is probably the best for the government. There are larger issues at stake here. I think that the minister ought to be aware of that, larger political issues that are set to explode, and I think it's probably better that these be contained.
President of the Barbados Economic Society, Jeremy Stevens, says the 0.5% growth for the first half of this year reported by the central bank yesterday is nothing to shout about. Stephen told Barbados Today more attention needs to be given to productivity and increasing consumer spending.
What was interesting is that private financial inflows would have fallen just over 100 million for the time being. So if it is that we still have a lack in financing options, the first half of the year has proven that going into the last half of the year, we really have to try to find ways to increase productivity and worker spend within the economy to really sustain and to help the fiscal deficit to be arrested. Well, to reach that 4% target, we can't really find another way to do it, else it would result in even possibly more taxation in the future, or let's say rougher or tougher and sharper government expenditure cuts. So all in all, this report is very much in line with the central bank reports of the past, but I fear it's a bit more optimistic than it should be at the time being without certain policy measures being put in place. That is growth-driven measures. I do, however, like the fact that the central bank did try to explain their rationale for liberalizing interest rates, and though it was commendable and necessary at this time, I figure that the explanation has been a bit too late and a bit too celebratory.
He also believes it may be time to focus on new policies for collection of VAT and other taxes over the next 2 years, given a drop in receipts. Stephen is also challenging the growth prospects, saying he was not so optimistic unless external factors, including lower oil prices, were maintained. Health officials are calling on the male population to take responsibility for their sexual health, particularly in the area of HIV infection. Minister of Social Care Steven Blackett was addressing a workshop for men over 50 as part of the efforts by the National Assistance Board to inform and educate older people about the disease. Blackett said the National Strategic Plan for 2014 to 2018 identifies men as one of the key groups who are disproportionately affected by the disease.
In 2012, 76.67% of the diagnosed cases were males compared to 33.3% for females. Of the 1,673 AIDS-related deaths between 1984 and 2012, men constituted 71%. Regarding age, the World Health Organization maintains also that despite the global attention being paid to the epidemic, HIV infection rates among older adults have been a neglected area of study, and older persons remain invisible in the data on HIV infections and prevalence.
There are fresh calls from Senator David Durant for young people to put down their guns. He was speaking at a vigil for 20-year-old Dario Lloyd, who was gunned down in the Bonnets area last year. He says there is too much gun violence on the island, and he wants the weapons to be taken off the streets.
It is my prayer also that love and compassion, faith, goodwill, respect for each other will be something that we will all learn to adopt, and a lifestyle or a culture of peace, a culture of respect, a culture of love for each other's property, and a culture of love for our fellow man, loving our neighbor as ourselves, will also be restored. My prayer is that the spiritual climate over communities like Britain Sill and other parishes and communities around our nation will be changed, that the crime rate will be reduced, that the drugs will be reduced, and that indeed our people can experience and find a better way of life, a better way to conduct ourselves, to live with each other.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
got it in my hand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Got to understand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Ain't nothing like a core bank spare. None of them others just can't compare. You just got to love that taste. It's the world-class thing this land makes. Whether I'm cruising or at a bar, whether I'm at home, my bank spare is never far. For this blessing, got to give God thanks. My Barbados, my bank.
Our valued partners for the BT Cropover Superstar Competition: Flow, Banks, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Izumi Media, and Liberty Store.
In regional news, Suriname's President Desi Bouterse has been re-elected to office for a second term. Bouterse won by a slim majority in May's elections. Parliament ratified his election on Tuesday, given the required quorum of 34 members was met and there were no other candidates. Bouterse, a former military ruler, was first elected to office in 2010. Internationally, images from the New Horizons spacecraft show that the planet Pluto has ice mountains as high as the Rockies in the U.S. The images also show signs of geological activity on Pluto and its moon. Scientists have been presenting the first pictures acquired by the New Horizons probe during its historic flyby of the planet this week. And that's the evening news. For more news, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I am Maricla Williams. Good evening.
Our valued partners for the BT Cropover Superstar Competition: Flow, Banks, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Izumi Media, and Liberty Store.